Hey guys, I'm at the Towie 2 house and we're going to do a quick update of what's going on over here. I'm going to meet with the project manager and meeting with Bo and taking a look at some of the carpentry. So let's take a look at the progress. It's looking really cool, looking kind of like we're in a Mario Brothers level. Underground, kind of coming up above ground. So let's check it out. Looks like it's pretty cool. Looks like they've finished doing some of the touch up on the edges and all the concrete's on. So really the next phase is for us to clean off the top and start doing the waterproofing on the outside. Now on the inside, you can see we've got some lumber in the dumpster here. So we have already started with the interior framing, which is kind of fun because you're using square materials in a round hole. So check a look at that. You can see we've pulled off the insulation on the flare right here. And on the inside, we've got, you see that header right there? That's for the garage. We're using staggered studs in the walls. And it's really a 2x6 wall, but you have 2x4s, two different layers. That way we can get more insulation in the wall. I know this is just a garage. We're gonna make sure that this layer and each of the openings that's towards the outside has a lot of insulation in the wall so we can prevent a lot of thermal bridging if possible. It looks like on the inside they've done a pretty good job pulling everything off, so gonna be some really cool reverberation. I was gonna bring my sons out here to make some noise in here so we can kind of get a feeling of what this amphitheater is like. So we got so this right here, see where the slab stops right there? That's where we're gonna build the wall, but all this is pulled off. But the inside of the house starts right around this area. So this is the view to the outside. So if everyone's like wondering like what is it gonna look like? And this right here is where we're going to have the framing start going all the way down. So we're about to ambush Bo. He has no idea that he's going to be put on camera, but we're going to talk to him real quick and see what's going on. What's going on, guys? All right, we've got Bo. Bo, you're doing a live update. You had no idea that you're going to be on camera.
I have.
So
I have totally sandbagged here.
So I want to give Bo full props. He got the slab preps. He and Matthew got all the beams and the concrete in place. So really, the structure is. I know they sell us this as DIY, but I tell you what, we've got our most talented team members on it, and it's still difficult. So I'm definitely not going to pitch this as DIY. But what we are going to do for everyone is do a play-by-play analysis, how to, what we did from all the way to the ground up. So right now we're trying to get the framing in. So Bo, what do we have here?
Well, basically we're running our first floor walls at the moment. We are making sure that everything works out, dealing with, we have some unusual things we're dealing with, like curved exterior walls. Framers, as a rule, work outside in when they frame. In this case, we have to work inside out. So we're doing a sort of a backwards measurement process. So we have to figure out everything kind of from a new point of view from the framer's perspective. So
this right here is Igal's office, right? You're standing in his office?
Yeah, actually, I think it's Ihon's office.
Oh, it's Ihon's office. Well, I know it said iPhone.
She was here today. She was here today, giving her opinion as solicited.
Listen, like whatever space is hers, Igal is just going to have to go with that. So this is the hallway. This is the kitchen over here. We've got a pantry. This is where we're going to have the kitchen. Back over there, so no, this is the bathroom, pantry space over here. And really, Bo, this is the fun spot. We're gonna call this Matt's mixing room. And I had a very good conversation with a international plumbing expert. He said that typically when you're working with these heat pump water heaters that we have, he says one of the things that him and Joe Stiebrick worked out is when all that cold air comes off of it, you can cause that surface area there to reach dew point. So he actually recommended that we incorporate the water heater into the mixing area without even understanding what the concept was here, because that's what he's recommending in all of his projects. And I said, hey, that's what we're kind of thinking about here, so we might have to take a look at that. I don't know if it's going to fit over here, but I'm actually redoing the mixing room in other projects. We just don't want a mold condition.
I think we can make it fit. We weren't planning on it at the moment.
Well, yeah, we're not planning on it. We can make it fit, but this is really the space that we're working with. So we're going to have an array of fans here. We're going to have the ductless mini split head, but also one of the things we're doing different on this house than what we've seen in other projects is we're going to have the return start over there and come all the way into this space through the attic. So the attic is actually up there, so pretty cool. So what else? Man, that looks really cool. What else have you guys run into? I was wondering how you guys are going to do the curve. So it's just basically doing a bunch of segments.
I got to give the framer credit for that. I wasn't quite sure how we were going to tie it off either. We talked about it a little bit, and he kind of said, this is what we're going to do. So it worked out pretty well.
I thought we were going to get our steam generator and try to bend it.
I mean, I wasn't sure how we were going. They ram set it in, so it'll all be secure once everything's tied off. I mean, it won't be able to pull loose. It won't pull loose. It's got pressure.
And then for the sheathing on the outside, we're using the zip system, and with that, we're able to air seal from the outside. So we're going to have our WRB and our air barrier on the outside. I noticed we've got these staggered studs in here too. So was that problematic, or was that pretty easy to work out?
Pretty easy.
So let's go take a look at that real quick. Staggered studs. So really the benefit of this is you're able to get more continuous insulation inside the wall. I know we're always trying to reduce thermal bridging. We're not doing insulation towards the outside in this, unless we can find a bunch of leftovers from some other projects, which I do have some in my driveway. But basically, if insulation is filling this in 2x4s, you're able to have 2 inches right here, 2 inches right there, the full 5.5 inches of insulation right here. So there's not going to be any thermal bridging inside the wall. You're going to have maybe some thermal bridging at the headers, but it's very minimal. And again, really the goal is to keep the outside out, the inside in for this. So looking really good, Bo. Any other problems that we've been trying to work through?
Well, there's always problems. We don't always put them on camera.
Hey, listen, this is for our series Behind the Build, so it's okay to be authentic and talk about problems. And if there's going to be a lawsuit, we can just cut it out.
Well, and to one of the things you were saying, when we worked out some of the header stuff, we worked it out so that we could insulate against the actual header too, just a little bit.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So that's one of the things that we did in one of our presentations recently is either doing a single header a little bit deeper, just like one LVL instead of doing 2 LVLs. But in this case, since we have a 2x6 wall, there's still room in there to add some insulation to that, which is going to help with that.
Yeah.
It's really good.
The call out was three 2x12s, but it makes more sense to do what we just did.
I think next weekend we're going to bring some musicians in here and let them play around with the reverberation.
There's some of that. There's definitely that.
Our audio guys are going to have fun editing this one.
Well, I think, I don't think you get any sense of the scope, honestly, about how I use the word cavernous this place is after just the shell being built. But it's always interesting how the framing's bringing it back to scale, human scale.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, this is truly a man cave or woman cave or a person cave. We're creating the effect. So right now, I mean, it's getting a little bit warm outside, but even when it was hot a few weeks ago, we noticed that even without this out being buried, it's being sheltered. It's staying around 60 degrees plus or minus, because that's what the temperature of the earth is. So
yeah.
It looks like what they're doing over here, guys, is we're putting the sill seal down. So anywhere where we have contact, where the wood is going to touch the concrete, we're making sure that we've got a capillary break. Now this is a thermal and a capillary break, so you don't want any moisture that's coming out of the slab to get into the wood. So we're doing that all the way around. We're doing that where you've got the arches, the segmented area. And again, this is just so we don't have any contact. Now we will make sure on the outside that we have the liquid flash on the outside when we put the zip system on. But this is just to make sure that we don't have any contact with any of the materials that are going to be letting out water. So looks pretty good. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna do a quick tour of the outside. I'm gonna catch up with Bo, and then we'll show you how we got to this point later. Appreciate it, Bo, for showing us all that. And let's take a real quick look at some of the mechanical. So you see, we've got conduit coming out. That means we're gonna run conduit, and that's gonna go into the frame walls, into other areas. But one of the other things that we had to do, you can see some of the boxes and junction boxes down here. The reason is, this is going to be the final finish. So right there, this is the finish. There's not gonna be a knee or anything on top of that. And that's where we're gonna put the outlet. So if there is nothing in the concrete and they want another outlet, say there or there, it's too late. The only way to get wire is going to be a surface level conduit. We are not going to trench into this, do any more cutting. So this is done. This is the final product. We're probably going to put some sort of skim coat on top of this, but that is it. So a lot of pre-planning has to go into these houses. So I'll even have clients that want to do insulated concrete forms or SIPs. I'm not opposed to doing that. The problem is, I know most people like to make changes. And when you have a structure like this or some of these prefabricated ones, you have to be very decisive up front and make all the decisions in the beginning. So I want to apologize. The site is a little bit of a mess because we just pulled all the forms off. We are cleaning all this up on Monday. So it'll be a nice, clean job site. Get some of this out of here. So let's take a look at what they did on the outside. I know we saw them when they first started doing it in the last video. So check this out. We had a ledge right here, and in the detail, it was supposed to come down, hit a ledge, then go down. I was like, you know what? There's really no reason for us to not just bring the base out a little bit further. That way we've got a nice clean line right there. So we're gonna dig down to the bottom of the footing. We're gonna start the waterproofing there and go all the way up. Right now we're looking at the Polygard system. And the reason we're looking at Polygard, we've used them on many other projects, but they've also got that termite barrier. The fact that this whole house is gonna be below grade. We are in Georgia, there's lots of termites. I'm sure if we can find some debris in here that's got termites in it, I want something that is going to have that termite block. Give us the waterproofing, and also with this design, we're going to have the drain that goes all the way around the base. So water comes down, that hits this, finds that the French drain at the bottom, we're able to get all the water, and all of this is going to go away from the structure, down the hill and away. So as a contractor, especially in Georgia, always afraid of water. Is water going to come in through the ceiling? We're going to have a good waterproofing there. But even through the base and in some of these cracks right here, we did have that water stop that we put down before we did all the shotcrete here. So that's going to help if water does find its way between the foundation and the shotcrete. But we're still going to have a continuous layer of waterproofing. It's going to be a liquid applied, and we're also going to have a membrane. We're going to have insulation. Some of that insulation from inside that we used as the form board is going to come back out here, and we're going to have a drain mat. So lots of different layers protecting this, keeping the water away, and if water does make it past those areas, we're going to make sure that that hydrostolic pressure is relieved and it's able to drain out and away from the house. So water management is king here, and it's going to be very important, not only on the outside. We don't want water to get in the house, but on the inside, this is all concrete. There's still moisture coming through the concrete as it's drying out. We've got a whole house dehumidification system. We're going to have lots of ventilation on the inside. So what we don't want to have is microclimates that are built up in here, mold, other things like that, bacteria growing on the surface. So we're going to manage all the humidity inside the house with a special system that we're going to design. The space that over here is going to, I'm going to call it Matt's mixing room for right now. We're going to have a mini split in here and a bunch of exhaust fans essentially distributing all the air through the house. So this is going to be Matt's mixing room. The water heater is going to be right here. We're going to have a mini split head right in this space. The ERV is going to dump into here, and we're going to have a dehumidifier. So this room is going to be an airtight closet, is going to act as our central conditioning for the whole house. Then these individual fans, which are controlled by thermostats in each zone, are going to send the air out to those different zones. It's going to be running continuously, and if we either have too much PM 2.5, too many VOCs, too much carbon dioxide, and or too much moisture, or the temperature in that area fluctuates a lot, that zone will go into boost mode, which will be about 80% more air going to that space. Once it reaches the set temperature and all the conditions are in alignment, then that zone will basically come back down. So we always have air moving around in the house. There's never going to be any stale air, and that's very important in this house and pretty much any house that you have, because you don't want to have moisture building up in one of the areas. You want air moving around, and when air is moving around, what's really exciting about this is you can't see it designed up here. I'm in a hallway. We're going to have a return up here where the air is going up, over, and down into the space. We're going to have a HEPA filter, or two HEPA filters, filtering the air as it comes into the space. So all the air that goes into the mixing room is going to be super clean. We're going to have 3 to 4 air exchanges per hour. So that means all of the air in the structure is going to be filtered, cleaned out before it comes into this room 4 times an hour, which this is probably going to be some of the cleanest air that you can breathe in Atlanta. So I'm really excited about this, how this is coming together. We worked with Corbett Lunsford with the Home Performance channel, and he did a really good job on this design. So really excited to see how this comes in. This is the kitchen, same thing here. We're gonna have makeup air coming in from the outside through the garage into the kitchen space. We're exhausting it out to the other side. So basically all the exhaust is going to one side, makeup air is coming in from the other side. So we're not gonna have any problems with that air mixing on the outside. Usually if you're about 10 feet apart, it's not an issue. But we're just doing all of the exhaust from the ERV and the cooktop to go to one side, makeup air coming from the inside. And this air is always going to be balanced. So really the key for this in any airtight structure that we're building is balanced ventilation. So when you run any of this exhaust, you don't depressurize the structure. Not that that's going to be an issue with this concrete, but you don't want to put too much stress in the doors, windows, and whatnot. And you want your fan to be able to operate and get the CFM out just right. So having that makeup air is key. So do have a little bit of wood in the air and in the way right here, but a lot of people ask, what is the view like? Does it feel like that you're underground? So this is an underground house, an earthen structure. As you can see, there's plenty of daylight coming in. This whole wall is either going to be windows and or doors. Lots of light coming in. Great view from to the outside. All this wood will be out of the way, and that dirt will be out of the way. So all that will be vegetation. You'll be able to see grass in the front yard right here. It's going to be an amazing view. So I definitely would say that this probably has better views than most front yards, because this really is the front of the house, even though it's facing towards the backyard. The street's that way, but this is the front of the house. So this is the front door. You can see where the LVLs are. That's where the front door is going to be. So great view. It's very welcoming. People are going to feel welcome coming into the house. We've got the garage over here. Not so much light coming in from the garage, but that's not a big deal. We are going to have some light on the doors, the garage door over there, but that's pretty much it. So we'll have some natural light, and the rest of the light is going to come in, and we're going to have shop lights up there. But these beams, what our client's going to do is have LEDs come in the inside. So we're going to have indirect lighting on each of these beams going all the way around. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to turn out, especially because we're going to make this a lighter color. Anytime you make this a lighter color, it's able to reflect that light back into the space. Hope you guys enjoyed this tour. We'll do another tour in a couple weeks, just kind of show you how we're progressing with the structure, with the framing and the mechanicals. All right, thanks again, and I appreciate you subscribing, and see you guys next time.